Ahoy, this is Zdenka. I've been in photography business for over 20 years now, and lately I've been really enjoying taking photos with a smartphone, as these days we have tools that gets us professional results. If you want to learn how to take amazing portrait photos with a smartphone, this video is for you. This video is brought to you by Reeflex. Let's start from absolute bottom and let's build our way up to get results like these. I'm going to do what the majority of people would do. Grab a smartphone, open native camera app, leave it on the main camera, which is 1x zoom, and take some portrait photos. Well, the results are not impressive because a wide-angle lens can introduce distortion to the face, especially when you get close. The background is not compressed. You don't get the sweet blur in the background. This lens is great for other photography, like landscapes, but it's not ideal for portraits. Let's take the first step up. Instead of using main camera, it would be better if you choose 2x zoom lens to achieve compressed background and focus on the main subject. If you are wondering why not the 5x zoom, 2x zoom will give you more natural perspective and the ability to capture more of the scene. In basic words, you are going to get cleaner and simpler portraits. 5x zoom is more for situations when you need a large amount of zoom, like taking photos of subjects or cityscapes. Let's take another step up and choose portrait mode. As we all know, portrait mode is going to give you a digital illusion of bokeh or blurry background you would typically get if you took photos with a lens like this one on a mirrorless camera. Because it's digital effect, it's not going to be precise, and you will have to really move the number around to find what setting works, so you don't end up with smudged edges around the hair. Just for a comparison, here are all three photos side by side: main camera, 2x telephoto, and portrait mode. Let's take it all the way to the top. There are two external lenses you can use to achieve professional DSLR-like results that will give you shallow depth of field, compression, and natural bokeh effect. The first lens I have here is a traditional 2x telephoto portrait lens. It's made by Reeflex, located in Italy. The lens is to be used with 1x main camera, so that is why it's going to give you 2x zoom. The minimal focusing distance on this lens is 100 centimeters, so you can be closer to your subject. The second option I have here is the supertelephoto 240mm lens. As this lens is to be used with telephoto 5x camera, it will give you 10x magnification. Minimum focusing distance is 3 to 5 meters, so you have to be further away from the subject. This is a hybrid lens, as you can use it for macro photography with these two extensions. I will link a video where I'm showing plenty of macro shots in a video description. I will take photos with both lenses, so you can see the difference between those two looks. I will also link them below the video in a video description for those interested. Let's start with standard telephoto lens. This one can be used with native camera app. However, for the best results, I'm going to use Reeflex Pro Camera app. If you have Android, you can use Pro Photo mode in native camera app. The first thing I'm going to enable is the format. The choices are HEIF, RAW, and ProRAW. I need the highest quality, so I'm not going to go with HEIF as it is compressed. What is the difference between RAW and ProRAW? RAW is the classic uncompressed format. ProRAW is combination of RAW and also iPhone's image processing mixed together. I watched several videos on this topic by other photographers, and I could clearly see that ProRAW is giving better results, so I'm gonna stay with that. I will also select 48 megapixel size, and here on the left I will select wide main camera, as this is where I have this lens mounted on. Let's hit settings here on the right and go to Capture Options. Here I have choice to take only RAW photos or RAW plus JPEG photos. I will select RAW as I will edit them before I post it anywhere. Process formats lets you choose between HEIF, JPEG, and TIFF. HEIF is the newer compressed format, so I have that selected. I will stay away from TIFF as those files are truly massive. If I wanted to take the photos in automatic mode, I will be already ready to go. The only thing left to do is tap to focus on model's eyes and take the shot. I will, however, treat it as my regular mirrorless camera and go with manual settings. There are only 3 things I will control: white balance, ISO, and shutter speed. As it is daytime, quite sunny, I will go with 5500 Kelvin white balance. I will bring ISO all the way down and bring shutter speed up until I get perfectly exposed image. It is important to keep the shutter speed higher to avoid any blurry photos. If you are wondering how to get out of manual mode and go back to automatic, just double tap on the screen. All is left to do now is step 1 time on the model's eyes and take the shot. As you're watching me working with Martina, let me give you a whole bunch of tips when it comes to portrait photography. The best lighting you are going to get if you shoot at golden hour period. It is the hour after sunrise or before sunset, as you will get warm, soft light. What you can also aim for are overcast days, as the clouds act as giant diffuser. It will give you soft light. If you are stuck with midday harsh light, look for open shade. Don't shoot directly in sunlight, as it creates strong shadows under eyes and nose. Before you start posing your model, check for the background first. Make sure it's not too busy. Simple background is the best. Make sure there is nothing sticking out of model head, such as pole or tree. All right, let's review all the photos taken with the standard telephoto lens. It's time to change lenses and take some photos with the supertelephoto 240mm lens. This lens is made for telephoto camera. You cannot use it with wide main camera and use native camera app. Why? Here is what you see in the native camera app. Let's enable telephoto camera in Reeflex app and take some photos. I have to be much further away from the model, so when it comes to communicating with model, I have to use a lot of gestures. This is something I'm used to because when you take photos with the big telephoto lens or mirrorless camera, you have to be also quite far away. I will explain how to pose and communicate with model very shortly, but first let me show you some photos taken with this lens. Let's compare them with shots taken with standard telephoto lens. As you can see, you get slightly different look. Let's talk about the most important thing when it comes to portrait photography, and that is communication. Now, I've been on both sides of the camera. I have many years of modeling experience behind me, many years ago. I used to work with many photographers. The best photographers were those who knew how to communicate. I also worked with snappers. Those are the photographers who don't say a word. They will let model to do everything on her own. Those were the most boring photo shoots ever because it gets very mechanical. You use all your poses you know and you don't know what to do anymore. So you kind of get stuck. From my past modeling experience, when you are in front of the camera, you don't know what the photographer wants. You don't know what result he's looking for. So you need the communication to give him the best you can. Another thing I want to point out is I used to shoot many glamour makeover photo shoots, and I worked with many different women in different ages and different sizes that never even stood before the camera ever before. The chances are when you are working with non-model, unless it's your family member or somebody you know very well, that the person will be very nervous, scared, maybe self-conscious. It's your job to make them feel very comfortable. I've experienced clients that literally came to the door, and as I was greeting them, I felt their hands shaking. So in that case, what you have to do, you have to just be very polite, smile, perhaps say a few jokes, just make them feel very comfortable. Say they loosen up and they get, just very comfortable. Talk to them with a smile, pull out some jokes, make them feel welcomed and make it fun. If the first shots are not what you expected to see, don't you dare to say a word or show frustrated face. The model will shut down, you're not gonna get anything better out of her. If I take a bad photo, I just smile, say, okay, let's try something different, and I'll keep going until I get the results I'm looking for. I'm not a huge talker when I shoot. I usually say a few words here and there. Let me just play a bit from behind the scenes with a sound so you can actually hear the way I communicated with Martina. She's not a model yet. She's just dipping her feet into modeling as she's quite young. Flip your hair all the way on the side. Yeah. It's a little bit crazy here. Yeah. And you just look very kind of serious over there. Good. Can you be actually straight like me right now and just like own it? Yeah, that's fine. I need to do something with the legs, so I'm not liking the legs. Yeah, I love the way you are like this is great. Yeah, and just like really very good. Beautiful. Just gonna try to go on her face a bit more. And now look at me, just bring the face down, down, down. Chin down even lower. If that's too low, a little bit higher, tiny bit. Yeah, that's it. Open your lips a little bit. Like breathe the air through. Yeah, that's good. Excellent. Okay. Let's cover posing. Learning how to pose other people comes with experience. Don't get frustrated at first if you're having a hard time posing people. The more you work with different types of people, the easier this part will become. Every person is different. Some people move naturally, others don't. When I start taking photos of someone, I immediately study their face and body. I literally make them turn the head in all directions, try some straight-on shots, then slightly to the side, over the shoulder. I take some photos from slightly above as I want to see big eyes. When it comes to body, the same thing. I will see how they look straight on. Then I turn them a bit to the side, let them move their arms. Some people can have hands around their face. Some people simply don't have flattering hand movements. You need to study your model and figure out what works the best for her. There is no works for all type of thing. Another thing you can do if you are very new to posing models is saving your favorite photos you want to recreate. When you get stuck, just show the model what you are after and it will break the ice and you get back on track. When it comes to portrait photography, I could talk for hours. There's just so much to cover. I think that's quite enough for today. Please give it a thumbs up if you found this video helpful and don't forget to subscribe for more. I'll see you in one of those videos next. Ciao! Ahoj!